Belle Gunness, born Brynhild Paulsdatter Storsett on November 11, 1859, in Selbu, Norway, is one of America's most notorious female serial killers. Her life is shrouded in mystery, marked by the deaths of many people who were close to her, including family members and suitors. Belle Gunness grew up in a small farming community in Norway. In 1881, she emigrated to the United States, settling first in Chicago, Illinois. Here, she adopted the more Americanized name Belle. In 1884, Belle married Mads Ditlev Anton Sorensen. The couple had 4 children, 2 of whom died young. In 1900, Sorensen died on the only day 2 of his life insurance policies overlapped, arousing suspicion. The official cause was heart failure, but many believed Belle poisoned him. Following Sorensen's death, Belle moved to LaPorte, Indiana, and bought a farm. She quickly remarried Peter Gunness, a recent widower, in 1902. Peter died within a year of their marriage under suspicious circumstances. A meat grinder allegedly fell on him, but rumors of Belle's involvement persisted. Belle Gunness's farm in LaPorte, Indiana, notoriously dubbed the Murder Farm, is a central element of her grisly legacy. This farm became the final resting place for many of her victims, primarily suitors she lured through matrimonial advertisements. The story of this farm is marked by calculated deceit, brutal murders, and an elaborate scheme to amass wealth through the deaths of others. In 1901, after the mysterious death of her first husband, Mads Sorensen, Belle Gunness moved to LaPorte, Indiana. She purchased a 42-acre farm on the outskirts of town. The property was initially intended to be a place where Belle could rebuild her life. She married Peter Gunness in 1902, but his death under suspicious circumstances only months later set the stage for the farm's dark future. Allegedly, Peter was killed by a meat grinder falling on his head, a claim that many found dubious but did not challenge legally. After Peter Gunness's death, Belle began placing advertisements in Norwegian-language newspapers, seeking wealthy men looking for marriage. The ads typically described Belle as a comely widow who owned a large farm and sought a companion. The men who responded to these ads were usually well off and looking to settle down, often bringing with them their life savings or other valuables. Belle's modus operandi involved corresponding with these men to gain their trust. She would persuade them to visit her farm, promising marriage and a new life together. Many of these men sold their possessions before traveling to Indiana, intending to start anew with Belle. Once they arrived at the farm, they would disappear without a trace. The exact number of men Belle lured to their deaths is unknown, but it is believed to be at least a dozen, possibly more. When the suitors arrived, Belle would typically offer them a warm welcome, often drugging their food or drink. Once incapacitated, she would kill them, usually through blunt force trauma or poisoning. After the murders, she would strip the bodies of valuables, including money, jewelry, and other personal effects. The disposal of the bodies was methodical. Belle would dismember the corpses and bury the remains in various locations around the farm. Some bodies were buried in shallow graves in the hog pen, while others were hidden in the yard and outbuildings. She was known to use quicklime to hasten the decomposition of the bodies, making identification difficult if they were ever discovered. Neighbors and local townspeople began to grow suspicious of Belle Gunness due to the frequent arrival of suitors who were never seen again. However, Belle's outward demeanor as a hard-working and grieving widow helped deflect suspicion. She was adept at playing the role of a respectable woman, even as the number of men who visited her farm and disappeared continued to grow. Belle also had foster children who lived with her on the farm. These children occasionally saw or heard things that suggested foul play, but they were too frightened of Belle to report her activities. Her intimidating presence and control over the household kept her dark secrets well hidden. In 1908, Belle's farmhouse burned down. The bodies of her 3 foster children were found in the ruins, alongside the headless corpse of a woman believed to be Belle. However, the woman's identity was never conclusively proven to be Belle Gunness, leading to speculation that she faked her death. During the investigation, authorities discovered the remains of over 40 men and children buried on her property. Belle Gunness was never captured or confirmed dead, and her fate remains unknown. Ray Lamphere, Belle's former handyman and lover, was arrested and charged with arson and murder. During his trial, Lamphere confessed to his role in helping Belle dispose of the bodies. He claimed that Belle had orchestrated the entire scheme and that he had assisted out of fear and infatuation. Lamphier's testimony provided chilling details of Belle's methods and the sheer number of victims she had claimed. The discovery of the murder farm sent shockwaves through the community and the nation. Belle Gunness became infamous as one of America's most prolific female serial killers. Her ability to manipulate and kill without arousing significant suspicion highlighted the dark potential for evil even in seemingly ordinary individuals. Her case remains a chilling reminder of the potential for darkness within the human spirit, leaving an indelible mark on the history of American crime.